The retail industry survives on one assumption: you are not paying attention. Every sale sign and fake countdown is designed to trigger emotional spending instead of rational choices. But smart women are quietly escaping the cycle, rebuilding wardrobes with better quality for less money through hidden brands the industry barely promotes. This list is the map they do not want you to have. These are 10 women's clothing brands smart shoppers swear by, plus the traps to avoid. Knowing the difference between gold and garbage is what separates smart shoppers from everyone else. Let us get into it. Number 10. Everlane built its entire identity on a concept the fashion industry considers an act of war. They call it radical transparency. While every other brand on the planet is hiding their production costs behind layers of marketing mythology, Everlane publishes the actual math. They tell you exactly what a garment costs to produce, exactly what they charge you, and exactly why the gap exists. The retail industry despises this. They have spent decades convincing you that the high price tag is a reflection of quality, craftsmanship, and exclusivity. Everlane tears that curtain down completely and shows you the machinery behind it. Here is the truth they revealed. A classic cotton button-down shirt costs approximately $7.50 in materials. It costs another $5 in labor. The hardware, the buttons, the thread, and the finishing adds another $1 and some change. Total true production cost is roughly $14. Traditional retail brands then apply a markup of 5 to 10 times that number and sell it to you for $80. Everlane applies a transparent, modest markup and sells you the same quality for $32. The goldmine inside Everlane is their core basics line. Their 100% cotton tees, their clean-cut chinos, and their structured denim are built to survive years of heavy use. They source from ethical factories in Vietnam, China, India, and the United States, and they list the specific factory on every single product page. You can read about the working conditions before you complete your purchase. That level of accountability forces quality because the factories know they are visible. What to avoid? Their trendy seasonal drops are occasionally overpriced for what they are. The leather goods have received mixed reviews. The true goldmine is in the fundamentals. The relaxed chino, the oversized crew sweatshirt, the day heel. These are the items where their philosophy translates into actual, durable value in your hands. One reviewer wrote the following. She said she had owned her Everlane chinos for 3 years, washed them over 40 times, and they still held their shape perfectly. She said she had a pair from a premium designer that cost 4 times as much, and they were shapeless within 6 months. Everlane does not lie to you about what you are buying, and that honesty shows up in the construction. The transparency model is a direct threat to the luxury markup, but the next brand built something even more radical. They did not just make their supply chain honest, they made it almost invisible. Number 9. Pact is a brand the fast fashion industry quietly challenges on both environmental and economic levels. While brands like H&M release limited, conscious collections with recycled blends and green marketing, Pact takes the opposite approach. Every product is made from certified organic cotton, with no exceptions. This matters because conventional cotton is one of the most chemically intensive crops in fashion. Pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, and chemical dyes leave hidden costs in both the environment and the fabric itself. These fibers tend to weaken faster, fade quicker, and degrade more easily over time due to chemical processing. Organic cotton avoids these interventions, producing a fiber that is stronger, softer, and more durable. Pact also uses low-impact dyes that bond more deeply with the fabric. This is why their shirts maintain color and structure through repeated washes, while conventional alternatives often lose shape and become worn out quickly. Their strongest category is loungewear and basics. Organic cotton underwear, leggings, and jogger sets have built a loyal following because they feel more premium than their price suggests. Most full outfits stay under $60, with frequent sales dropping individual pieces under $15. The real advantage is long-term value. Organic cotton lasts longer, requires fewer replacements, and maintains structure over time. Instead of buying multiple fast fashion replacements, the same pieces endure repeated use. But even perfect materials still operate inside the traditional retail markup system. The next brand does not just fix materials, it attacks how retail itself prices clothing. Number 8. Banana Republic Factory. Here is where the retail industry plays a highly sophisticated shell game, and most shoppers fall for it completely. Most people know Banana Republic as the elevated business casual anchor of the Gap Inc. empire. The stores are moodily lit, the mannequins are carefully styled, and the price tags sit far above the Gap next door. It creates an atmosphere of restrained professional luxury that makes you feel like you are making a smart, grown-up purchase, even when you are paying around $150 for a blouse made from fabric that costs only a few dollars per yard to produce. What most people do not know is that Banana Republic Factory operates as a separate retail channel that mixes genuine last season Banana Republic inventory with pieces produced specifically for outlet sales at lower construction standards. The key is learning to tell the difference, because the real opportunity is in the overflow pieces from the mainline, which can be bought for a fraction of the original price. The trick is in the label. Turn any Banana Republic Factory item inside out and check the inner tag. If it says Banana Republic Factory, it was made specifically for outlet production. If it says Banana Republic, it was originally designed for the main store and later transferred to clear inventory. That is the goldmine moment, the item you spot, recognize, and quietly appreciate for its value. Their blazers, tailored trousers, and structured knit dresses from the mainline are genuinely strong pieces. The canvas interfacing in the blazer shoulders, clean interior seam finishing, and heavier suiting fabrics often exceed what the outlet pricing suggests. Fashion insiders know this and actively rotate through Banana Republic Factory to capture these overflow finds. Click on the subscribe button if you are tired of overpaying for clothes that fall apart after one season, because this list only gets more valuable from here. Now, just hold on right there, because even smart outlet shopping still depends on timing and inventory cycles. The next brand removes that limitation entirely by designing clothing that does not follow trend cycles at all. Number 7. COS. If you are not familiar with COS, you are missing one of the most quietly sophisticated clothing brands operating right now. COS stands for Collection of Style, and it is a subsidiary of the H&M Group, a detail that confuses most people immediately. H&M is widely known for disposable fast fashion, while COS operates in the exact opposite direction of its parent company. COS was designed as a deliberate philosophical counter-argument to the H&M model, where H&M follows rapid trend cycles and produces clothing meant to last a single season. COS focuses on architectural, structured garments with a European minimalist aesthetic that is genuinely timeless. The pieces are not loud or trend-driven. They rely on precise tailoring, subtle design details, and silhouettes that exist outside seasonal fashion cycles. The key insight is simple. A COS piece bought today still looks appropriate years from now. You are not paying a trend tax or participating in planned obsolescence. You are investing in clothing with a long, functional lifespan. The goldmine inside COS is its knitwear and structured outerwear. Wool blend coats are well constructed for their price range and often compete with far more expensive brands. Relaxed tailored trousers and oversized structured shirts show a level of design precision that feels above their category. One fashion editor, who preferred to remain anonymous, once mentioned in a podcast that she owns multiple COS coats, and colleagues regularly assume they are designer pieces. The construction quality and design language sit comfortably in a higher tier than the price suggests. The H&M connection keeps COS accessible, while its design philosophy keeps its pieces relevant for years. That combination is what makes it a strong, long-term buy. But timeless design still exists inside a corporate fashion group. The next brand proves durability, does not require luxury pricing or aesthetic minimalism. It requires pure function. Number 6. LL Bean. The fashion industry runs on a manufactured illusion of novelty. They need you to believe that what was beautiful last season is embarrassing this season. The moment a trend becomes mainstream, they declare it dead and replace it with another. This creates a permanent purchasing cycle that drives their profits. LL Bean does not participate in this system. The brand is built on the belief that clothing should serve a function, survive harsh conditions, and last for years. It is not designed to chase fashion. In many cases, it has sold the same core products for decades without changing them because they do not need to change. The Bean Boot, first designed in 1912, is a clear example. It has been refined over time, but never fundamentally redesigned. It keeps feet dry, lasts for years, and performs consistently. That philosophy extends across the entire brand. The goldmine for women specifically is their outerwear, flannel shirts, and heritage wool pieces. While fleece jackets are widely known, the real value is in heavier wool and canvas construction. Their Katahdin Ironworks line uses heavyweight canvas and reinforced stitching that reflects how clothing was built. Before planned obsolescence became standard practice. For much of its history, LL Bean also offered a lifetime guarantee on all products. Although this has been adjusted to a one-year satisfaction policy due to misuse, the construction standards still reflect that original promise. The products are built for long-term, real-world use. One outdoors writer who tested their down parka over 3 winters in extreme conditions reported that the seam sealing remained intact, the insulation did not shift, and the outer shell showed no signs of breakdown. The performance matched jackets that cost several times more from premium outdoor brands. In a market driven by disposability, LL Bean stands for longevity. The value is not in trend appeal, but in durability that can span decades. That is the smart investment. But durability in isolation still exists within traditional retail branding. The next brand hides durability inside a pricing trick most shoppers completely miss. Number 5. Mango Outlet. Most shoppers are familiar with Mango. It is the slightly more refined European counterpart to Zara. Step inside one of their flagship stores, and everything feels carefully engineered to trigger buying urgency. The lighting is bright, the music is designed to keep momentum high, and the racks are intentionally sparse. It creates a manufactured sense of scarcity that pushes you to buy quickly before something disappears. What most people do not realize is that Mango operates a second, quieter system online. While the main site promotes new arrivals at full price, Mango Outlet quietly clears last season's premium pieces, including leather, wool, and silk items, at discounts that can reach up to 80%. To understand why this works, you have to understand the logic of modern retail. Fashion cycles have accelerated into constant micro-seasons, where inventory is replaced rapidly, regardless of actual quality. A well-made wool coat does not lose value because the calendar changes, but the system treats it as outdated stock the moment a new collection arrives. That is where the opportunity appears. Mango Outlet often carries the same high-quality garments that were in mainline stores only a short time before. You can find heavier fabrics, better construction, and more durable finishes at a fraction of the original price. The main site hides this channel because it competes directly with their highest margin pricing. In many cases, the only real difference is timing, not quality. A coat that was displayed under bright flagship lighting a few months ago is quietly reclassified as last season, even though nothing about its construction has changed. That is the gap smart shoppers learn to exploit. The real shift is learning to ignore the urgency of new arrivals and instead focus on what is functionally the same product being repositioned at clearance level. But outlet shopping still depends on brand timing cycles and inventory turnover. The next brand removes that dependency entirely by collapsing the traditional retail markup system itself. Number 4. Quince. If you have spent any time on social media, you have likely scrolled past an ad for a $50 cashmere sweater and assumed it was a scam. That reaction was shaped by the luxury industry, which has spent billions convincing you that affordable cashmere cannot exist. Quince is the direct-to-consumer disruptor that breaks that belief system. The traditional retail chain is a layered markup machine. A factory makes a silk blouse for $15, sells it to a brand for $30. The brand sells it to a department store for $60, and it reaches you at $180. Each step adds cost without improving the garment. Quince removes those layers entirely. They work directly with the same factories used by premium brands, shipping straight from production to your door. The silk, cashmere, and linen are the same quality materials, just without the markup chain. Their focus is on noble fibers such as silk, cashmere, linen, and organic cotton. Instead of synthetic blends, they prioritize natural materials that breathe, regulate temperature, and last longer. The goldmine items are their cashmere crew neck sweaters, silk button-down shirts, and linen wide-leg trousers. These pieces deliver boutique-level quality at a fraction of the usual price, often indistinguishable from luxury brands. Smart shoppers already know this. Reviews consistently show silk holding its sheen after repeated washes, cashmere resisting pilling across seasons, and wardrobes being rebuilt for the price of a single designer blazer. The luxury industry wants you to believe price equals value. Quince proves price is just a structure, not a truth. But even direct-to-consumer models still rely on new production. The next brand proves you do not need new at all. You can access luxury through smarter engineering instead. Number 3. Uniqlo. If you ask the average American shopper about Uniqlo, they will describe it as the Japanese Gap. This is one of the most catastrophic misunderstandings happening in retail right now. Uniqlo is not a fashion brand. It is an engineering firm that uses textiles as its medium. The founder, Tadashi Yanai, built the entire company on a philosophy called lifewear. While Zara is busy photographing the Paris runway on Monday and hanging copies in their stores by Friday, Uniqlo is spending years in a laboratory developing a new heat-retaining fiber technology or a superior method of compressing down insulation without destroying its loft. Look at their heat tech line. They partnered with Toray Industries, one of the most sophisticated chemical and textile engineering firms in the world, to develop a fabric that literally converts the water vapor your body releases into infrared heat. The fashion industry wants you to pile on bulky, expensive wool layers to stay warm through the winter. Uniqlo engineered a single thin base layer that accomplishes the same thermal regulation at a dramatically lower price point. Their ultra-light down collection achieves a warmth-to-weight ratio that premium outdoor brands charge $300 to match. Their AIRism technology addresses moisture and temperature regulation with a sophistication that activewear brands charge premium prices to approach. The goldmine for women specifically is their foundational wardrobe pieces. Their ribbed turtlenecks, their merino wool crew necks, their wide-leg pleated trousers, and their structured puffer coats are absolute masterclasses in the value-to-quality ratio. They are ignored by the fashion crowd because they do not have loud logos and they do not participate in trend cycles. That is precisely the point. By ignoring the trends completely, they avoid the trend tax entirely. Their inventory does not need to be cleared every 2 weeks because their designs are genuinely timeless. The smart shopper uses Uniqlo to build the structural foundation of the wardrobe, the basics that carry every outfit, the pieces that last for years while the trend-driven items around them come and go. Once you understand what Uniqlo actually is, you cannot stop shopping there. But engineered basics still start from production. The next brand flips the system again by focusing not on making new clothes, but extending the life of existing ones. Number 2. Eileen Fisher, the resale program. Eileen Fisher has been doing something quietly radical for a very long time, and the mainstream fashion world has largely missed the story. The brand itself is a known quantity. Eileen Fisher produces beautifully simple, sustainable, high-quality women's clothing in natural fibers. The brand has a devoted following of women who understand that clean-lined, Naturally dyed linen and organic cotton clothing is worth a premium price. The clothes last for years. The design language is timeless. The brand ethos is built on genuine sustainability, not the greenwashed marketing version. But the mainline price points are significant. A linen dress from Eileen Fisher can run $160. A wool jacket can reach $350. These prices reflect the genuine cost of ethical production and premium natural materials, but they put the brand out of reach for most shoppers. Enter the Renew program. Eileen Fisher runs one of the most sophisticated brand-operated resale systems in the entire clothing industry. They buy back their own garments from customers who are finished with them, clean them, repair them if necessary, and resell them on their dedicated resale platform at 50 to 70% below the original retail price. This is the goldmine that most people completely miss. You are buying genuine Eileen Fisher, not a factory outlet version, not a downgraded quality level, but the actual full-quality garment in organic linen or premium wool for a price that is genuinely accessible. The additional advantage is construction quality. Eileen Fisher builds their clothing to last because their brand reputation depends on it. A 5-year-old Eileen Fisher linen blazer that has been gently worn still looks and performs beautifully. The linen often improves with washing, growing softer and more supple over time. You are not buying degraded used clothing. You are buying garments that were engineered to survive exactly this kind of extended use. The smart shopper sets up alerts on the Renew platform for specific items. When a linen wide-leg trouser or an organic cotton turtleneck appears in her size, she moves quickly. These pieces disappear fast because the small community of women who understand the program shop it aggressively. Eileen Fisher Renew is sustainable fashion done with absolute honesty. No virtue signaling marketing, just high-quality clothing at a genuinely fair price. There is also a deeper shift happening here. It changes how value itself is understood. Instead of paying for constant production, you are paying for longevity already built into the garment. The purchase is no longer about novelty. It is about access to durability that already exists in circulation. But even resale programs are still brand-controlled ecosystems. The final brand removes control entirely and opens the whole global secondhand system at scale. Number 1. ThredUp. The most expensive, highest quality clothing in the world has already been made. It is not sitting on a rack in a flagship store waiting for you to pay full retail price. It is sitting in a dark closet in a wealthy zip code, forgotten by someone who bought it on impulse and moved on to the next trend. The modern fashion industry survives on a manufactured desire for the new. They want you to believe that clothing loses value the moment the tags come off, and that wearing last season's coat signals failure. That belief is worth billions every year because it keeps the purchasing cycle alive. ThredUp turns that system into infrastructure at scale. It is not a neighborhood thrift store with handwritten tags and random donations. It is a logistics-driven processing system. Every day, massive volumes of clothing arrive, get sorted, photographed, and listed into a searchable database of millions of items. That scale creates opportunity. With millions of listings, human curation is impossible, so pricing depends heavily on algorithms. And like all algorithms, there are blind spots. They recognize modern fast fashion brands accurately because there is abundant pricing data, but they often miss the true value of older, higher quality construction and materials. That is where the advantage appears. Searching by material instead of brand changes everything. Filters for wool, silk, and leather reveal items priced far below their actual quality. A Pendleton wool blazer, a silk slip dress, or a full-grain leather bag can appear at prices that ignore their original craftsmanship. There are stories of buyers finding luxury-level pieces mislisted in the simplest way. A Burberry trench coat, labeled as a basic tan coat, sold for a fraction of its original price, despite construction quality that would be impossible to replicate cheaply today. The original owner paid thousands and barely wore it. The algorithm only saw fabric. This is the core shift. You are not chasing trends. You are moving backward through the retail cycle to recover quality that already exists. Clothing from earlier eras was often built to last decades, not seasons, and much of it still exists in circulation at heavily reduced prices. The industry has spent years convincing shoppers that secondhand means lesser. That idea is a marketing construct. On the other side of it is some of the highest quality clothing ever produced, available at prices that collapse the logic of retail entirely. Smart shoppers are already operating there. They are wearing silk that breathes, wool that holds structure, and leather that improves with age. Entire wardrobes can be rebuilt for the price of a few modern retail pieces. ThredUp represents the end of the traditional fashion cycle. It is not just a marketplace, it is an exit from a system designed around constant dissatisfaction and repeat spending. It shifts the role of the shopper from consumer to curator. The modern clothing industry operates as a highly engineered psychological loop. It controls stores, pricing, advertising, and perception to keep people cycling through purchase and replacement. It teaches that quality is expensive, that used is inferior, and that new is always better. Every brand in this list breaks one part of that loop. Everlane exposes markup. Pact exposes material quality. Banana Republic Factory exposes retail labeling. COS exposes design longevity. LL Bean exposes functional durability. Mango Outlet exposes inventory timing. Quince exposes markup chains. Uniqlo exposes textile engineering. Eileen Fisher Renew exposes circular reuse. And ThredUp exposes the full secondhand system as a structured way to access already existing quality. Together, they form a map out of the cycle. Stop looking at the price tag and start looking at the seams. Stop buying the brand and start buying the material. Stop feeding the cycle and start building a wardrobe. Share this right now with a woman in your life who is exhausted from watching her clothes fall apart after 3 washes. She needs this map. We all did before someone showed it to us. If you think the fashion industry is running a sophisticated con on your wardrobe, wait until you see what the food industry is doing to your grocery cart. Click on the next video right now. The truth about what is hiding in your supermarket will permanently change how you shop. I will see you there.